I've spent the last 3 years focusing on one thing, and that one thing was I would build people's offers, pick the most profitable segment, the best niche to go after. I would then launch their offers, build their acquisition infrastructures. It could be outbound prospecting. I first started by building outbound on social media and placing VAs, $3 an hour VAs into companies. Then we moved to building paid acquisition funnels. And we would scale these offers and these companies by also building growth teams and scaling their sales teams and just scaling the team in general, right? And in the last 2 quarters, I've focused zero of my time on becoming better at doing none of those things. And the reason to that is because all the money today is going to AI. And when I say money, I'm not talking about people buying courses, people buying growth solutions. I'm talking about the smart money. Some of you guys may know this past week, we just did an AI webinar. I essentially spent this entire month building a 200-page research doc that I was working on for this AI system that we've been working on in the background, in the shadows. We've been cooking AI. You guys would be surprised how much money is being thrown into AI startups today. One of the stats that I shared in this 200-page research doc that I built was that out of the $135 billion invested in the VC market, so venture capitalist, 50 of those $1 billion were invested in one single market, in one single opportunity, and that was AI. AI is stealing almost 50% of all the money invested in new companies and new startups. They're all going to AI, okay? Now, I didn't understand why until I started working on this research. And the thing that's happening in our industry for most knowledge workers, like, as a coach, as an agency owner, as a consultant, you're a knowledge worker, right? For those who don't know what AI does, and the reason why AI is blowing up right now, it's because the cost to create knowledge with AI is essentially zero. And as someone who runs an agency, as someone who's a consultant, that means that what you and I do goes back down to zero. So the world a year from now or a few years from now is that I believe there won't be a reason for you to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for an agency or a coach or consultant, because you can just pay for an AI workflow, an AI agent to do the thing or to give you the answer or the strategy that you would normally pay a lot of money for, okay? So knowing that, I essentially spent the last 2 quarters not working on my main business and instead becoming smarter and understanding this opportunity, right? If you guys weren't on the webinar, I recommend you guys DM me on Instagram. I'm not gonna be releasing this webinar that we did this last week for free, because I believe that the more people get access to the insight and the system that we built, then the less effective it becomes, right? So the arbitrage, essentially disappears. So the leverage disappears if everyone is doing the same thing as you. So we're not going to be distributing it. If you want, just DM me the word 50. We have a lot of people who've been DMing me on Instagram trying to access the webinar recording. So if you want, I can give you access to the webinar by DMing me on Instagram. Now, what did we build? What is the solution that we ended up building in these past few months? So I was looking at the market, and one of the things that I needed to understand is, how do I gain an edge over everyone? See, earlier this year, we also did an AI webinar where we were presenting the opportunity to build and release AI dialers, AI growth infrastructures into companies. This, now everybody's doing it. GHL just now released their polling agent. So now everybody can essentially build and release AI dialers, AI setters into companies. So I was like, I think there is a better opportunity there. So what I ended up finding out, which I ended up presenting in the Webby, was that everybody's trying to solve what everybody's already solving. Meaning, people just want to solve for appointment setting, people want to solve for sales, people want to solve for customer service, but it's like everybody's already doing that. So there's no money if you're doing the same thing as everybody else. So instead of solving those skills, that level of function, what we decided to do instead is, we're not going to do what everyone is doing. We're instead going to look at what is the thing that separates, regardless of the niche. You could pick real estate agents, you could pick construction companies, you could pick agency owners, you could pick coaches, you could pick consultants, you can pick SaaS businesses. What is the thing that separates the 1% from the remaining 99% of the marketplace? And what we ended up realizing is that the only differentiating factor between how successful you become and I become is how good are we at acquiring attention for free. And we looked across all the niches. We even looked across all the companies that we're scaling right now. The companies that are able to scale past 6 figures a month, multiple 6 figures a month, $250,000 a month is their ability to acquire attention for free. So what did we do? Well, we went to work, and we've been building an AI system that essentially will look at different platforms, right? It will go and find the most viral assets online. It will kind of like analyze the viral patterns around this niche. And then it will create new assets. I don't want to go too deep. You guys can just go check out the webinar if you guys want to understand the thing. And then it will also automate the actual output. And imagine a world where you can jump into any niche and know how to acquire attention for free. You're still going to need a little bit of inputs from a human, but you can literally create 1 million assets. And I'm not talking about, I know a lot of people are just using these for ads. Some people are using it for short form, but we're also using it for long form, okay? But that's the AI system we've been working on, and we're actually about to announce a pretty great opportunity for anyone who's been looking to work with cloneacquisition.io. We're going to be launching a Black Friday offer where we're going to be giving the opportunity for any single person who's either wanting to start a company or wanting to scale their current company, the ability to leverage this AI system that we've built in-house to essentially either use it to acquire attention for free or go into markets and actually license this AI system to resell to your market, right? And the other thing that I ended up presenting on the webinar is the fact that the business models are going to change, especially for service providers. I believe the world of having a bunch of contractors that you're paying a ton of money and having to manage is eventually going to go away, right? I believe our business models are going to look something like this. You're going to pick a niche, let's say software, and you're going to look at how most of the software companies are scaling. I'm going to pick an example of HubSpot. HubSpot has started acquiring media businesses because they've acquired, a platform or a media source like My First Million, the podcast. I think either they own it fully or they own a piece of it. And essentially, My First Million podcast is just their top of funnel. So what I believe is going to happen as growth experts in this world is that we're going to go look at what the top 1% is doing. Then we're going to use AI agents or AI systems. AI agents is somewhere near in the future. Some companies, OpenAI is about to release theirs in January of 2021. I believe Microsoft already is using them on some of their softwares, right, on their platforms. So you're going to be able to go to a market, software, right? Software as a SaaS as a niche. And you're going to be like, hey, I help software companies scale to $1 million in ARR or $10 million in ARR. HubSpot is doing $2 billion in ARR, which is insane. So you can go to them and say, hey, I have a playbook and an infrastructure, the same funnel, the same systems, the same whatever that HubSpot is using to acquire attention for free. I can build that infrastructure as a front-end offer, right? So you build a YouTube channel for them, you put systems, lead gen systems to capture attention and capture the audience's details, and then have on the back end somewhere to convert them, conversion mechanisms. So you build that and you release it into the software company, okay? You get paid once or whatever, right? So that would be kind of like our build and release offer. On the back end though, one of the things that we're pushing with, especially with this AI, and this is how we're running our AI system, is instead of having a bunch of copywriters, instead of having a bunch of researchers who look up what is going viral on YouTube, well, you can actually now use an AI agent, an AI system, to go and look at whatever niche this software client is targeting, go find the most viral topics, the packaging of YouTube videos, study the hook of each video, study every single thing. On top of that, you can also leverage it, use the software IP and information, combining with the viral patterns and the viral packaging, take their IP of the software company or their processes, their protocol, recreate new content, okay? And then when it comes to the output, you can eventually get to a point where you can use avatars, or you can use some other forms of content and assets to do the output. So now the business, not only did they pay you upfront for you to set up their infrastructure, but they're also going to keep paying you for each single asset that you build for them. But the thing is, traditionally, you would have to have a creative director. You would have a big team of editors. You would have packaging. You would have all these things. Now you can have every single workflow doing the work of one person. And instead of having a big team of like 30 employees, you just have 5 agents, 5 systems, 5 AI workflows, and you own those workflows. and each client pays you monthly and per usage, or you just sell a certain package where every single video that we release for your business, you pay us hundreds of dollars or maybe $1,000 per video. Cost to fulfill is almost zero. Do you guys see why I personally had to spend the last 2 quarters going deep down the rabbit hole? Because I'm like, imagine being the last person who gets onto this idea of leveraging AI workflows, AI systems, AI agents to fulfill within your agency or your coaching or consulting business. If you're the last person to implement this, you won't have any clients, because you have to understand that the difference between a human and an AI is that AI can do research, can go and scrape the entire internet. For us, one tool that we're using Perplexity to go and scrape, because Perplexity is up to date compared to ChatGPT, OpenAI. So we're using Perplexity to go and study all the content today. Not only that, we're also using Perplexity to build unique mechanisms for our clients, because we can direct it to a specific media source and it can go scrape all these transcripts and understand, hey, what are the outliers? What are the things that software companies are doing that are giving them outsized returns compared to the rest of the marketplace? So you have to understand that AI is infinitely better than any human you will ever hire, because no human can scrape the entire internet and just get data that fast. So not only do you use AI to get the truth at scale fast, but you also get it to create the outputs. I just think that the world is changing and the game of business is changing so fast that if you just are still doing things using humans by next year, first of all, I believe the cost to fulfill or to do a lot of the work that we do is going to get super commoditized. And if you're still using humans, you're not going to be able to make enough margins, enough profits to still be able to pay people and still take home enough money to pay for your food, to pay for your kids' school. So what is my bet? The goal is you build and release infrastructures, processes, systems, maybe even some talent, but then you retain using an AI workflow that you own, because the cost to fulfill is almost zero, right? And you're still offering somewhat done for you, but without having the cost of done for you, without having the complexity of done for you, without having the management of done for you. Do you guys understand that? You build your IP within a system, and that system delivers time and time again, and it's costing you like 30 cents every time you do work for someone, but you still charge as if you're still having a human do it. So yeah, it's crazy to me that some people are not paying attention to this AI trend and they're buying Bitcoin. I'm like, are you guys serious? Why would you be buying Bitcoin when you can just build AI systems that are going to deliver for entire market and get you crazy margins? So that's it for today, guys. Love y'all. See you guys in the next. Again, click the link below or DM me on Instagram if you want to access the webinar, and look out for the Black Friday offer coming up. Love y'all. Bye-bye.